Hello everyone, and welcome to my new channel. This is a channel where I want to share some of my landscape photography adventures. You'll be able to see how some of my images are created. But more importantly, I'm hoping this can be a place where you can find inspiration. And perhaps you'll even discover a few useful tips or techniques to improve your own photography along the way. Now without further ado, let's get into today's video. On this particular day, I set out on a wild camping trip up in the mountainous region of Beiarn, which is an area located about a 2-hour drive from my hometown of Bodø. As you might tell from the footage, we're in the middle of April, which means we'll still have a lot of snow at higher altitudes, allowing me to travel by skis. Now, the weather forecast was looking promising. However, it got really windy at times during the trip, and I want to apologize in advance for any excessive noise caused by the wind. Now my plan today is to shoot the mountains behind me here. I'm not sure we're going to get much of a sunset because the clouds towards where the sun sets are just too packed. And I think as soon as the sun just dips a little lower, we're not going to see it anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm probably going to take out my camera and see if I can get some images to warm up for tomorrow. And yeah, and while we still have light, because I don't think we're going to have any light in an hour's time, or even in half an hour. So yeah, I'll stop talking for now and go and grab my camera, and we'll see if we can get some images. So I've been looking around a little bit, just trying to see if I can find some nice compositions where there's light, essentially on the land. But like I expected, the sun has now, just dipped, and I don't see there's not much light left on the land. We do get a few patches here and there occasionally, but I have set up a composition anyway, and yeah, I'll just quickly show you guys. So I noticed these rocks here, these 3 rocks in a kind of interesting formation, and it instantly grabbed my attention, so I've tried to make a composition around those. And as you can see, even though the sun has set, like I was saying, we'll still have some very subtle light on the land, which does create a little bit of contrast here and there among these snowy mounds that we see here. So I think that's going to be it for today. The sun is set, it's getting darker and darker, and yeah, I'm just generally very cold. I can barely feel my fingertips. So it's time to go and find my backpack, which I left somewhere around here while I was running around like a headless chicken looking for a composition. But Yeah, shouldn't be too hard to find it. So once I find it, I'm going to basically just go down to where I plan to set up my camp, and I'm gonna set up my tent, make sure it's set up you know, properly, because I do expect there to be some wind tonight. At least it would have forecasted, and it's also forecast to be around -5, -6 degrees.
I look into your eyes, I see we're out of time. I guess no one's to blame, nobody crossed the line.
So, good morning. Now, as you can probably already tell, my plans for a morning shoot have not really materialized, and it's not because I overslept. I set my alarm to 3 a.m. and I got out of the sleeping bag, checked the weather, and fortunately it was snowing and the visibility was just zero. I couldn't see anything, and it was really windy, and you can hear it now as well. Probably it's still quite windy. You can hear the tent. I think I'm gonna make some hot coffee, get some breakfast, and we'll take things from there. And that's how fast the weather can change. Just a moment ago, it was clouded, but the sun was peeking through. And now it's just turned into a blizzard. I think I'll just have to sit and wait this one out for the time being. I think it's gonna blow over very soon, because it's been like this pretty much the whole night. It's just been constantly changing all the time.
I look into your eyes, I see we're out of time.
I was sitting in my tent and the weather was just not changing. It did change for a little while, but then it became like this again. So it's just constantly changing. And, I thought to myself, why not go out and have a look? So, yeah, I grabbed my skis and I've just been, I haven't gone very far away from my tent, but I'm just doing a little bit of scouting around here, see if I can find some interesting compositions. So I've been roaming around for a little while now with my 70-200 telephoto lens, and I'm basically just looking for areas with light within the landscape, very much like yesterday. I don't have a particular subject in mind. The mountain that I wanted to photograph yesterday is hidden behind some clouds right now. That being said, you know, light can very often be a compelling subject on its own. And that's why I'm now just allowing the light to sort of dictate what I shoot. But I'm also, since I'm using a telephoto lens, and which allows me to compress the landscape, I'm also looking for, you know, just layers or interesting shapes and lines in the landscape, you know, just to try and create some a sense of depth in the image. I was heading back to the tent and I stumbled upon another composition here. There's this rock in the snow that caught my interest. It's essentially shaped like the mountain that I wanted to photograph yesterday, and that I obviously still want to photograph if I get the opportunity. But for the most part of the day, you know, it's been hiding behind clouds, and I haven't really had the opportunity. But I noticed now the clouds cleared up more or less, yeah, I'll quickly show you the composition here. So I've set up this composition using my wide angle 16-35mm lens, and I'm shooting at about 26mm. Now I've tried to compose the image by getting down quite low, so the rock is just more prominent, and so that the middle ground here that you see here, which doesn't really have a lot of interest in it, so it doesn't take up too much of the frame. Yeah, so it's all about this rock here, which is it's kind of mimicking the shape of the mountain that is currently, like I said, is currently hidden behind some clouds over here. But you can probably remember from yesterday how it was shaped. Yeah, so now it's just a game of patience. I've sat here for about 10 or 5 minutes, and right now it's just getting more cloudy, to be honest. So I'll wait for a little bit more and see if I can grab a shot. If not, I'm gonna start heading back to my tent and packing up my things. I waited around for another half hour until I realized that the clouds were not going to clear, and I was faced with the fact that I would not be able to capture the image that I essentially came for. This is also where I decided to wrap up the video, so I returned back to my camp where I packed up my things and started heading back to my car. While I was left quite disappointed about the last image, I think this really showcases the reality of landscape photography. We're not able to control the environment around us. All we can do is persevere and keep coming back to the same locations until eventually the conditions play in our favor. For me,
That's the beauty of landscape photography. It gives me that element of uncertainty and surprise, and that's what makes it so exciting. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I would be really grateful if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more similar content, then perhaps you could also consider subscribing. Alright, that will be it for this time. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.